This is the story of how I've tried and failed to build a bike clothing brand 3 times, but this time though, through Bike Filth, I think I might finally get it right. I first became obsessed with mountain biking when I was at secondary school, and I always wanted to get in on the industry somehow. So I thought to myself, I should start a clothing company. Now at the time I didn't have any money, and the internet was at very early stages of the internet. There was no social media, there was no advertising via social media. The only media at the time really was in print, and the prices to advertise in those things was extremely expensive. I started a little company on a free website, which at the time was called Homestead, where you could actually go on, sign up, build a website for free, and it was very basic. No emails, just a website. Using things like MS Paint, I came up with a little logo. The company at the time was called Iodine, which was completely made up. It actually came from a Hive song called AKA the IDIOT, which at the time I didn't know what the song was called, so I thought they were saying iodine. As you can imagine, there was nobody who was ever going to buy any of these clothes, but I continued to design things, make different logos and stuff, and eventually I found a website called Spreadshirt. On Spreadshirt you could upload your designs, get things printed, get them sent to you. I actually got a sticker which was on my DMR, but I took it off before we started doing the full cross. I should have kept it, but I put it in the bin because it was just so old and looked bad. I got a t-shirt made with basically an iron-on print of the Iodine logo. It was very poor. It didn't last a wash. It just fell to bits. So it was very short-lived, obviously without any kind of financial backing there. The company it wasn't really a company, it was just a bit of fun. So years later, I went to work in bike shops. I started to get to know a few people within the BMX scene, which I'd started to become a bit obsessed with. Buying myself a street BMX, never really doing any tricks. Buying myself a race BMX, never really racing, but going around to a few tracks anyway and just trying my hand at it. I then set up another. It wasn't designed to be a clothing company, it was designed to be a website, which was Punch BMX. It was designed to have a few different bits of BMX racing on there. I thought BMX racing from an outsider looked very clean and structured, and I thought I could maybe bring a little bit of the kind of, I suppose, the underground element that you get in America, like the Little Devil stuff and companies like that were producing a kind of underground BMX racing scene, I suppose is what I thought. So I started Punch BMX, and at the time the website was going really well. It was getting lots of activity, mainly because I was friends with people within the BMX scene within Oxford, which is where I worked in a bike shop. I actually had 10 orders for t-shirts, pre-sales, so I went to a proper screen printers, got those 10 t-shirts made, and they were sold very quickly. Somebody from the Telegraph newspaper actually contacted me and wanted me to be their correspondent for the up-and-coming Olympics, which at the time I thought was a great idea, but I had to be honest with them and told them that I didn't know anything about BMX racing and such. So at that point I realised that the website was costing me a lot of money to keep running, using a WordPress theme format and updating it with news as regularly as I could. And also at that time I was able to put the word out on social media, which was quite new at the time, so it was good to get used to that and start putting things across. Anyway, Punch BMX cost too much to run. As far as running a website and constantly updating it, I wasn't actually spending a lot of time out riding, so that kind of died of death. Then in 2020, around the time of COVID, I decided to start Death Bikes. I don't know why I called it Death Bikes, but I do. It's because I enjoy loud music and bikes. So I thought if I put the two together, I could do some designs that almost looked a little bit like heavy metal t-shirts and incorporate that into bikes and make something that goes together and goes well. And at the time I thought with social media I could probably get a few people interested in it. I also discovered a website called T-Mill, which is really handy. It doesn't cost anything to sign up. You can upload your designs, people can buy them from there completely free of charge for you, the person who's selling them, and you will get a percentage of the sales comes directly to you into your PayPal account. I decided that it would be a good idea to maybe support some riders. So there was a few riders that were very keen. I went with one and he did an amazing job and tagged every inch of footage with death bikes, which got us some followers. We did sell a few shirts. So I started to get a bit ahead of myself, I think. I bought the domain name and I upgraded the T-Mill website. It went on pretty well. Death bikes kept on getting bigger and bigger, slowly and slowly, to the point where I think I ran it for 3 years in the end, and then decided that everything cost a bit too much to run. The website, the T-Mill upgrade, so I decided that time was probably the best to downgrade everything. When I started Bike Filth, I didn't really have any idea what I was doing. I thought I'll make a few videos about some great riders that have inspired me and that maybe could inspire other people if they happen to look at one of the videos on YouTube. As the subscriber number started to increase, I thought, oh, why don't we make some merchandise? Why don't we just go on T-Mill and get some t-shirts designed and get all that stuff done? So we did that, but there was a little bit of me that missed doing the death bike stuff. So I've decided to try and do this as a bit of a YouTube project, as well as trying to make a company from nothing, really. I thought I could run the two side by side. At the moment, on the Bike Filth website, you can actually buy a Death Bikes Bike Filth t-shirt, which I spent a little time mocking up and making the design. We've put it on a t-shirt, so if you go onto bikefilth.com, you'll see that t-shirt on there. That is going to be the first t-shirt that I make as a resurrecting death bikes t-shirt. There will be more coming out, and what we're planning to do is when we sell a few, we're going to stop producing them and we'll go on to another design, sell a few, stop producing them, go on to another design, sell a few, stop producing them. So the idea of it is that when you buy one, you're going to be one of potentially 10 people who've got that t-shirt. That way it makes it more of a unique thing for you, the consumer, and it means that it gives me a lot more creativity. I can go and make another design that's completely different and gives you the opportunity to own something that nobody else or not very many other people have got. So this video is the start of the journey, and I thought I'd try and explain what Death Bikes is about. Hopefully that's come across. If there's anything you would like me to do or like me to explain, stick it in the comments below. This is going to be a new series of resurrecting death bikes, basically. We'll see where we can get it to, we'll see how far it goes, we'll see what mistakes I make, we'll see how I do things properly, if I do. And it might be a good example for anybody that's thinking, oh, I'd quite like to start my own little design brand or something. Because there's plenty out there, and it's just finding your right thing and the right way to do it. I've failed many times, and I don't know if it's going to work this time. But we can try. We'll see what happens. Thank you for watching.
On my face, a chain on my leg. Saddle so high, it's a nutcracker peg. Crash, laugh, swear a bit. Bike feels filthy too with it. Wild new parts that creak like hell. Torque wrench broke, yeah, that track's well. Ride, slide, send it bent. Bike feels here and money spent. Bump it up, move it fast. Hope this ride is built to last. Rip it, pop that wheel. Bike feels spits the dirty teeth. Pedal strike, another fall. Not pro riders, not at all. Skid, spits, chaos too. Bike feels just bikes and poop.